Hello and welcome to my channel, Empowered Cello, a place where I'm trying to help learning the cello make sense for the adult cello learner, whether you're a beginner or you've been at it for a while. I've made a lot of videos on technique so far, so I thought today we dive into practicing. When it actually comes time to apply these techniques, how do you get the most out of your practice session? If you're an adult, you're probably busy, you're probably trying to find your practice routine where it fits into your life. I know I am. I work, I've got a kid. It's tough. You got to figure out what works for you. That being said, if you only have a little bit of time per day, I absolutely believe you can improve with the right type of practicing. There's also a way which I believe you're not improving and you're just spinning your wheels. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the 3 S's for better practice. This is what I use personally to keep improving myself because I'm still a learner, a student of cello, even though I'm a teacher. I consider myself a lifelong learner. There's a ton I still want to improve upon. And I've taken 10 years or so to really hone this in, and it's also what I teach. So today we're breaking down the 3 S's for better practice. The first S I'm going to talk about is singular. This is the idea that even though you're practicing a few different things within the practice session, whether it be warm-ups or scales or some music, you have a singular intention that you're going to apply to everything that you're doing. So for example, I am trying to clean up my shifts. I want to make my shifting less audible. And so when I'm doing my warm-ups, I'm focusing on that. When I'm doing my scales, I'm making sure that every time I shift, I have a nice clean shift. And then when I'm playing in my music, I'm really focused on that. So pick a singular intention that's going to influence every phase of your practicing this week. This can create focus and help you to really hone in on something rather than feeling like you're just going down the list. You want to set intentions and then apply those intentions to every phase within your practice session. The second S is smaller. If you're facing difficulty or a challenge in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's an exercise or music, odds are you are adding repetitions to too large of a chunk rather than really finding the little tiny moment that's causing you to trip up. So if you are stumbling in a certain line of music or a certain part of the scale or part of the exercise, don't repeat the whole line. Find the one measure, the one note, the one beat even, and drill into that. If you focus on smaller sections with quality, then when you go to run something later, you don't need that many times running something. You want to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, small little bits with quality. That's going to make you improve when you go to run things. The number one problem I see in a lot of adult beginner students is the way they practice is just by playing the whole thing over and over again. That would be spinning your wheels and not actually improving. And the final of the 3 S's, the final S is slower. I've talked about this a little bit in prior videos, but all of us are guilty of it. We are simply just wanting to go too fast. I don't know what it is about the human condition that we don't want to slow down. I have to tell myself almost every time I practice going too fast because if I'm making mistakes repeatedly, it means my tempo is too fast. The correct tempo is the one at which you don't make a mistake. There is a tempo in anything you are doing that is slow enough to give your brain time to communicate to your body and your body to respond. That is your starting tempo. And when you're building up from a tempo that you're not making mistakes, then you never make a mistake, right? So how do the 3 S's play out in an actual practice session for me? Let's say I have 30 minutes. I'm going to do a couple warm-ups, a couple exercises from my etude book. I'm going to choose what those exercises are based on my singular intention. And then a lot of times the repertoire I'm choosing to work on is also based on my singular intention. That's how I teach too. I assign certain exercises and specific music based on whatever intention I'm working on with my student at the time. So anyways, back to how this plays out. I'm going to pick my warm-ups, my exercises, and what music I'm working on based on what I'm trying to improve upon in this season of my playing. And then I'm just going to have my singular intention that I apply to every phase. I'm going to isolate where there's trouble, find the small sections that I need to really go detailed on, and I'm going to be playing slowly when I'm troubleshooting like that. Okay, so those are my 3 S's of practice. I hope you can find a way to apply that this week, right? So don't just think about what to practice, think about how to practice this week. You're going to see a lot more steady progress this way. You're not going to feel like you're playing the same mistakes over and over. That just makes practicing much more rewarding, and it makes playing the cello much more enjoyable. If you like content like this, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss one of my weekly videos. And if you want more depth on this subject and want to see how this plays out within a learning framework for cello, I'm actually so excited to announce that I'm going to be hosting some live workshops starting August 1st, where I break all of this down in more detail, more depth, along with sort of my step-by-step system for teaching cello. This is free. This is a live free training. If you wanted to hop in, I will drop the link in this video description, and maybe I'll see some of you there. Okay, until next week, bye.